Hello, dear reader. I invite you on a journey unlike any you have taken before, a journey deep within the ancient mysteries coiled inside your very being. For centuries, the serpent has been painted as the villain, a deceiver, a symbol of sin and downfall. Yet what if everything you were taught about this sacred creature was incomplete? What if the serpent is not the enemy, but the keeper of wisdom, the silent flame of transformation resting deep in your spine, waiting for your awakening? Part 1. The Serpent Awakens, an invitation to remember. The story of Eden echoes through time as a tale of loss, exile, and punishment. A woman deceived, a paradise lost, a curse laid upon humanity. But beneath the surface of this familiar narrative lies a hidden code, a sacred metaphor speaking not of shame, but of awakening consciousness. When Eve bit into the forbidden fruit, she did not fall into sin. She opened her eyes to awareness itself. The garden was not lost, but transformed, evolving from innocence into the dawn of self-realization. Across cultures and epochs, the serpent appears not as a figure of evil, but as a symbol of divine energy. The Urias of ancient Egypt, the Kundalini fire of the East, the Naga serpents of Central America, all point toward the same sacred force coiled at the base of the spine. This force pulses silently, waiting for the moment you are ready to awaken and reclaim your sovereign power. Yet empires and dogmas twisted the serpent's image into one of fear and control. It became the devil, the tempter, the adversary, a symbol used to suppress humanity's innate divinity and keep the sacred fire locked away. But no flame can be forever extinguished. It hums quietly within your bones, calling you to listen, to awaken, to rise. This awakening is subtle at first, a gentle vibration, a warming ember deep within you. It is the Kundalini energy stirring, preparing you for transformation. This journey is not about acquiring something new, but remembering what has always been there, the divine spark within you, waiting patiently for recognition. The path of the serpent is a sacred dance, a weaving of shadow and light, pain and joy, death and rebirth. It teaches you to shed the skins of old conditioning and false beliefs, to embrace the fullness of your being. As this fire rises, old wounds dissolve, illusions fade, and you step into the radiant truth of your existence. Ancient texts whisper of this sacred journey. From Moses raising the serpent on a staff to heal, to the Upanishads' teachings of Kundalini awakening, from the emerald tablets to the Kabbalah's tree of life, all speak in harmony. The serpent is not chaos, but the path home, the flame guiding you back to wholeness. Part 2. The Sacred Fire Within, Awakening the Kundalini. As you begin to listen to the subtle whispers of the serpent within, you may feel a faint stirring deep in your spine, an ancient energy beginning to awaken. This energy is known as Kundalini, the primal force of life itself, coiled like a serpent at the base of your being, patiently waiting to rise. It is neither good nor bad, it simply is. A neutral power of transformation that has the potential to change your life in ways you never imagined. When Kundalini stirs, it initiates a profound inner journey, a spiral ascent through your chakras, the 7 energy centers aligned along your spine, each associated with different aspects of your physical, emotional, and spiritual self. As this sacred fire rises, it illuminates hidden parts of your psyche, dissolves blockages, and activates dormant potentials. This awakening process is unique to each individual. For some, it begins with subtle sensations, a tingling warmth or a humming vibration deep inside. For others, it may come as vivid dreams, sudden insights, or powerful emotional releases. Regardless of the form it takes, Kundalini invites you into a deeper relationship with yourself, a call to explore your inner landscape with courage and compassion. Yet, awakening the serpent is not without challenges. The rising energy can stir up old wounds, fears, and unresolved emotions that have long been buried. It demands your willingness to face these shadows without judgment, to embrace vulnerability as a path to healing. This is the initiation, the sacred rite of passage that leads you from fragmentation toward wholeness. Many ancient cultures honored this process with rituals, meditation, and silence, recognizing that Kundalini awakening requires respect and patience. It is a sacred fire that cannot be rushed or forced. The journey unfolds in divine timing, teaching you to surrender and trust the flow of transformation. As the serpent ascends, it awakens your senses, heightens your perception, and expands your consciousness. Time may seem to slow or warp, and reality may appear layered with new dimensions. You begin to see beyond the veil, perceiving the interconnectedness of all things and your place within the cosmic web. Ultimately, the rising serpent leads you to embody your highest self, a radiant being of light, wisdom, and love. It is the journey back to your divine essence, the awakening of your true nature beneath the masks and illusions of the world. Part 3. The Dance of Shadow and Light, Embracing Wholeness. As the serpent's fire rises within, you enter a sacred dance, a dynamic interplay between shadow and light, chaos and order, destruction and creation. This dance is the essence of life itself, a constant flow of energies weaving through your being and the universe. The serpent teaches that to awaken is not to reject your darkness, but to embrace it as an essential part of your wholeness. In many spiritual traditions, the serpent symbolizes transformation precisely because of its ability to shed its skin. This shedding is not just physical, but symbolic of the layers of conditioning, fear, and false identities you have accumulated over lifetimes. Each layer shed is a step toward freedom, a reclamation of your true self beneath the masks worn to survive and conform. This process can be challenging, as it often brings to the surface deep-seated wounds and unresolved emotions. You may find yourself confronting fears you thought long buried, insecurities that have shaped your thoughts and actions, and patterns that keep repeating in your life. Yet, these challenges are invitations, calls to deeper healing and integration. The serpent's journey is one of courage, resilience, and profound self-compassion. It asks you to walk through your shadows without judgment, to hold space for all parts of yourself with love and acceptance. As you do, the boundaries between light and dark begin to dissolve, revealing a unified field of consciousness where paradoxes coexist in harmony. In this union, you begin to experience a profound sense of peace and freedom. The conflicts that once raged within soften, and you find yourself moving through life with greater ease and grace. Your authentic power emerges, not through control or domination, but through presence, wisdom, and heartfelt connection. The ancient alchemists spoke of this transformation as the union of opposites, solve et coagula, the dissolving and recombining that leads to spiritual gold. The serpent embodies this alchemical wisdom, guiding you to transmute suffering into wisdom, fear into courage, and fragmentation into wholeness. Part 4. The Sacred Initiation, Facing the Shadows. The path of the serpent is not for the faint-hearted. As this powerful energy stirs within you, it awakens not only light, but also shadow, the deep, often hidden parts of yourself that have been neglected, feared, or repressed. This initiation is a rite of passage, a sacred calling to face these shadows with courage and compassion. You may find yourself confronting fears that seem ancient, echoing from lifetimes past. Patterns of thought and behavior that have kept you bound may rise to the surface, demanding your attention. The serpent's fire does not burn to destroy, but to purify, to cleanse the soul and clear the way for new growth. This confrontation can be uncomfortable, even painful, but it is also deeply healing. By shining the light of awareness on your darkness, you invite integration and wholeness. You learn that your shadow is not your enemy, but a vital part of your being, holding keys to wisdom and strength. Many mystics speak of this phase as the dark night of the soul, a time of profound transformation when the old self dies to make way for the new. It is a sacred trial, a test of your commitment to awakening, and an invitation to deepen your self-love and acceptance. The serpent guides you through this journey, offering its wisdom and strength. It teaches you to embrace paradox, to hold light and shadow together in balance. Through this sacred initiation, you emerge stronger, clearer, and more radiant. Part 5. The Spiral of Transformation, Embracing the Journey. The awakening serpent leads you into the spiral of transformation, a sacred journey that unfolds in cycles rather than straight lines. Each revolution brings new insights, challenges, and opportunities for growth. This spiral is not merely a path upward, but a weaving together of all aspects of your being. As you move through the spiral, you find that transformation is both internal and external. Your perceptions shift, your relationships deepen, and your sense of purpose clarifies. The serpent's fire ignites creative potential, fueling your ability to manifest your highest visions. This process requires patience and trust. There are times when the spiral feels like a dizzying whirl, when progress seems slow or uncertain. Yet every twist and turn serves a purpose, drawing you closer to wholeness and liberation. The Serpent teaches that true transformation is holistic. It integrates body, mind, and spirit. It is a dance of releasing and receiving, surrendering and asserting, breaking down and building up. Through this sacred rhythm, you learn to navigate life's complexities with grace and resilience. Ultimately, the spiral leads you back to yourself, to a deeper understanding of your divine essence and your interconnectedness with all life. The Serpent's path is not a destination but an ongoing unfolding, a sacred adventure that invites you to live fully awake, aware, and free. Part 6. The Eternal Flame, Living the Awakening. Have you ever felt, in the quiet moments between breaths, a gentle but persistent call from deep within? A call that seems ancient yet intimately yours? This is the whisper of the Serpent's fire, the sacred flame that has always burned quietly beneath the surface of your awareness, patiently waiting for you to turn and listen. This flame is no ordinary spark. It is the eternal essence of your being, the divine presence that transcends time and form. It is the pulse of life itself, coursing through every cell, every thought, every feeling. When you awaken to this fire, you awaken to the truth that you are not merely a human bound by flesh and circumstance. You are a radiant being of infinite potential and cosmic connection. To live with the Serpent's fire ignited is to embrace a life of profound transformation. It means walking a path that honors both shadow and light, that welcomes change as a friend rather than a foe. It is a path of courage to face the unknown, to release old patterns that no longer serve you, and to step boldly into the fullness of your true self. As this fire grows, it purifies your intentions and illuminates your purpose. You begin to see your life not as a series of random events, but as a sacred tapestry woven with meaning and synchronicity. Your relationships deepen, your creativity flourishes, and your sense of connection expands beyond the limits of the self. Yet the flame is also a gentle teacher. It reminds you that awakening is not a destination, but a lifelong journey, a dance between surrender and mastery, between receiving and giving. Each day offers new lessons, new opportunities to deepen your understanding and embody the wisdom of the Serpent. Through this living fire, you become both student and teacher, seeker and guide. Your journey inspires others to remember their own divine spark and to walk their path with courage and grace. The Serpent's fire is a legacy of light passed down through the ages, a sacred heritage that lives within each of us. In embracing this eternal flame, you reclaim your sovereignty, the power to create your reality, to heal your wounds, and to shine your light in the world. You become a living testament to the mystery and majesty of life itself, a beacon of hope and transformation in a world yearning to awaken. So, dear traveler, listen closely to the Serpent's call. It is an invitation unlike any other, a call to remember, to rise, and to live fully as the radiant being you were always meant to be. The journey is yours to take, and the fire within you burns bright, lighting the way through the mysteries that await. Part 7. The Healing Fire, Transforming Pain into Wisdom. One of the most profound gifts the Serpent's awakening offers is the alchemy of healing, transforming pain into wisdom, suffering into strength, and wounds into gateways of growth. This sacred fire burns away the layers of old trauma and limiting beliefs that have weighed heavily on your soul, clearing the path for renewal. As the Kundalini rises, you may experience intense emotional releases, waves of tears, moments of grief, flashes of anger, or deep sorrow. These are not signs of weakness, but sacred purifications, essential steps in shedding the skins that no longer fit your evolving self. The Serpent's fire urges you to feel deeply, to embrace vulnerability as the doorway to true strength. This process requires patience and self-compassion. The shadows that emerge are not to be feared or suppressed, but lovingly held with understanding. Each moment of healing expands your capacity for love, empathy, and connection, not just with others, but with yourself. Throughout history, shamans, mystics, and spiritual seekers have recognized this transformative power. They understood that true awakening involves descending into the depths of the self, confronting darkness, and emerging renewed. The Serpent's path is a journey through the underworld of your soul, a sacred rite that leads to rebirth. By embracing the healing fire within, you align with the timeless cycle of death and rebirth that governs all life. You learn to trust the process, knowing that every ending is a beginning cloaked in disguise. With each layer shed, you move closer to the radiant core of your being, the eternal flame that never dies. Part 8. The return to sovereignty, claiming your divine power. Emerging from the transformative fires of awakening, you begin to reclaim a profound truth, that you are sovereign, a divine being with the power to shape your reality. The serpent's flame is not merely a force of interchange, it is the spark of creation, igniting your ability to co-create with the universe. To live in sovereignty is to recognize that your thoughts, emotions, and actions carry weight. They ripple through the fabric of existence, influencing your life and the lives of others. This awareness calls you to live intentionally, to embody your highest values and deepest truths. Sovereignty also means embracing responsibility, not as a burden, but as a joyful expression of your freedom. You are no longer a passive participant in life's play, but an active creator, capable of directing your path with clarity and purpose. The journey of the serpent teaches you to balance power with humility, strength with compassion. True sovereignty arises when you honor the interconnectedness of all things while standing firmly in your own light. As you claim your divine power, you become a beacon for others, guiding, inspiring, and lighting the way through your example. Your life becomes a living prayer, a testament to the sacred dance of transformation and awakening that flows through all creation. Remember, sovereignty is not granted by external forces, it is reclaimed from within. The serpent's fire calls you to rise, to stand tall in your truth, and to live fully as the radiant being you were born to be. Part 9. The serpent's wisdom, living in harmony with the cosmic flow. To truly embody the awakening serpent is to align yourself with the eternal rhythms of the cosmos. The serpent teaches that life is not a series of random occurrences, but a sacred dance, a cosmic flow where everything is interconnected and purposeful. When you tune into this flow, you move beyond resistance and struggle, finding harmony in every moment. The wisdom of the serpent reveals that change is constant and inevitable. Just as the serpent sheds its skin to renew itself, you too are invited to release the old and embrace transformation. This process is cyclical and natural, a reflection of the greater cycles of nature, the seasons, the moon, the tides. Living in harmony with this flow means cultivating presence and awareness. It invites you to observe your thoughts and emotions without attachment, to respond rather than react, and to trust the unfolding of your life's journey. The serpent's fire burns away illusion and distraction, helping you to focus on what truly matters, your growth, your relationships, your contribution to the world. This alignment is not passive surrender, but an active, conscious participation. It requires discernment and intention to navigate the currents with wisdom and grace. The serpent's path is one of balance, between action and rest, giving and receiving, solitude and community. When you live in harmony with the cosmic flow, you embody peace and resilience. Challenges become opportunities for learning, and every experience enriches your journey. You become a living expression of the sacred dance, moving with fluidity and purpose through the ever-changing tapestry of existence. Part 10. The Serpent's Gift, awakening your true potential. As the sacred fire of the serpent courses through your being, it unlocks hidden chambers of your soul, each containing treasures of wisdom, creativity, and power you may never have known existed. This awakening is not just about personal transformation. It is a return to your innate potential, the divine blueprint encoded in your very essence. The serpent's gift is the awakening of your intuition, the deep knowing that transcends logic and reason. It opens the gateway to inner guidance, where your soul speaks in whispers and the universe responds in synchronicity. You begin to trust your instincts, navigate challenges with grace, and align your life with your highest purpose. Alongside intuition, the serpent awakens your creative force. You find yourself inspired to create, whether through art, words, innovation, or acts of service. This creative flow is a reflection of the divine energy within you, a manifestation of your connection to the infinite source of life. The fire of the serpent also empowers you to break free from limiting patterns and beliefs. You gain clarity about what no longer serves your growth and muster the courage to step beyond old boundaries. This liberation paves the way for new opportunities, relationships, and experiences that resonate with your awakened self. Yet, this journey demands balance and mindfulness. The immense power of the serpent requires groundedness and humility. By cultivating practices that nurture your body, mind, and spirit, such as meditation, movement, and connection with nature, you create a stable foundation to safely navigate this awakened state. Ultimately, the serpent's gift is a call to embody your fullest expression, to live as the radiant, wise, and powerful being you were always meant to be. It invites you to shine your light unapologetically and to contribute your unique gifts to the world. Part 11. The Eternal Journey, Walking the Path of the Serpent. The awakening of the serpent is not a destination, but a sacred journey, a lifelong dance of awakening, growth, and renewal. This journey invites you to walk with mindfulness, honoring each step as part of a grand cosmic design. It calls for patience when the path is unclear, courage when the darkness seems overwhelming, and trust in the unfolding mystery. Walking the serpent's path means embracing paradox. You learn to hold opposites, light and shadow, strength and vulnerability, chaos and harmony, not as contradictions, but as complementary forces that enrich your existence. This acceptance deepens your wisdom and expands your heart. The path is also deeply personal. Though the serpent's wisdom is universal, how you experience this journey is unique to you. Your challenges, gifts, and lessons are yours alone to navigate. Yet as you walk this path, you become part of an ancient lineage, a sacred community of seekers and mystics whose stories echo through time. You may find moments of solitude where the silence speaks louder than words, and moments of profound connection where you feel the pulse of life coursing through all beings. The serpent teaches you to be present in both, to dance gracefully between the stillness and the flow. Ultimately, the serpent's journey leads you home, to your true self, to the divine essence that has always been within. This homecoming is both a revelation and a celebration, a reminder that you are not separate from the universe, but an integral part of its infinite unfolding. The serpent's fire continues to burn, guiding you through the cycles of death and rebirth, loss and gain, endings and beginnings. It is an eternal flame, a beacon of light and transformation, calling you always to rise, to awaken, and to live fully. Part 12. The Sacred Union, Embracing the Divine Within. In the depths of the serpent's awakening lies a sacred union, a reunion of all parts of yourself into a harmonious whole. This union is the culmination of your journey, where fragmented aspects of your being come together in a radiant dance of integration. The serpent invites you to embrace your dualities, not to reject your shadow, nor to idolize your light, but to hold both with compassionate acceptance. In this sacred balance, you discover the power of wholeness and the peace that arises from self-love. This union awakens your connection to the divine feminine and masculine within, the yin and yang energies that balance and complete each other. By honoring these forces, you align with the natural rhythms of creation and become a living embodiment of sacred harmony. Through this integration, your creative potential blossoms fully. You become a channel for divine inspiration, capable of manifesting your deepest dreams and highest aspirations with clarity and grace. The sacred union also deepens your relationships with others. You recognize the divine spark in every soul, fostering empathy, compassion, and authentic connection. Your presence becomes a healing force, inviting others to awaken and embrace their own sacred fire. Ultimately, the serpent's awakening leads to a life lived in sacred union with yourself, with others, and with the universe. It is a journey of love, transformation, and infinite possibility. Part 13. The Legacy of the Serpent, Passing the Flame. The awakening serpent is more than a personal journey. It is a timeless legacy, a sacred flame passed down through generations of seekers, mystics, and visionaries. This flame is the thread that weaves humanity's deepest truths across time and space, connecting past, present, and future in a continuous dance of awakening. As you walk the serpent's path, you become a keeper of this legacy, an emissary of wisdom, courage, and transformation. Your life, your choices, and your actions contribute to the collective awakening, lighting the way for those who come after you. This legacy calls you to embody integrity and authenticity. It asks that you share your gifts with humility and generosity, honoring the sacred trust passed down through the ages. Whether through words, art, healing, or simple acts of kindness, your contribution is a vital thread in the tapestry of awakening. The Serpent's flame also reminds you that the journey is never solitary. You are part of a vast community of souls, each on their own path, but united by the common thread of awakening. Together, you form a living constellation of light, each star shining brightly, illuminating the darkness and guiding others toward their own sacred fire. As you pass the flame forward, you nurture the future of awakening, ensuring that the sacred dance continues, ever evolving, ever deepening, ever expanding into the infinite. Part 14, the journey continues, an invitation to awaken. And so, dear traveler, the Serpent's call echoes through the chambers of your soul, an invitation to awaken, to remember, and to step boldly into the mystery that is your life. The path of the Serpent is not a destination but a living journey, ever unfolding with new revelations, challenges, and transformations. Each step you take draws you deeper into the sacred dance between shadow and light, self and universe, known and unknown. The fire within you continues to burn, sometimes fiercely, sometimes gently, guiding you through the labyrinth of your own becoming. The Serpent's awakening is a lifelong companion, a guide that never leaves your side, whispering ancient wisdom and stirring your divine potential. It calls you to embrace the paradoxes of existence, to find harmony amidst chaos, and to live fully awake in a world that thirsts for light. This is but the beginning of a grand adventure, an odyssey of spirit and soul that will challenge and delight, break down and build up, teach and inspire. The chapters yet to come hold mysteries beyond imagination, gifts beyond measure, and truths that will continue to unfold as you walk your path. So step forward with courage and curiosity. The Serpent waits patiently, its fire glowing bright within you, ready to illuminate the next chapter of your awakening.